Okay, this is just a really quick video sort of regarding the altitude limits that are looking to be imposed on the DJI Mini. And if you've seen, you know, like the some of the release bits for the Mini 4 Pro, basically they've imposed a limit for EU users that you won't be able to go above 120 meters, which makes perfect sense because that is essentially the rules, or at least here in the UK, that's the rules. But currently on the previous drone, so you know we've got the Mini 3 Pro here. You could actually increase that limit, but you just had to sort of agree to a warning on the controller or the app, just to kind of say that, you know, you'd acknowledge that that happened. So what we'll do is just have a quick look on the controller, and hopefully I can get that in focus. So essentially, there's been a firmware update today for the Mini 3 Pro, and a lot of people are saying, you know, is that going to impose the limit on there? But I've already done the firmware update, so you can see here the latest firmware update should be this one here for the aircraft. So you can see that's the latest one. If I hit check for, oh, sorry, I'm not actually connected to Wi-Fi. Let me just switch that on and let it connect. But basically, that is the latest version of the firmware. If I was connected to the internet, which it will be in a minute, you know, it will just come up and say that there's no other firmware available. And essentially, with that updated, you can see here the max altitude still can be changed. So you can still take that up, and you can still do the safety warning and agree to it. And you know, personally, I don't do that, but I know a lot of people are worried that this firmware update is going to take away the ability to do that. And I have seen, you know, DJI have said that they're going to retrospectively take away that feature at some point for the mini series drones that are still, I think it's the ones that are still available to buy. So, you know, essentially the ones that are still getting firmware updates, really. Yeah, so at some point, you know, there will be a firmware update that will restrict that feature. So it's just one of those things that I think you're probably going to have to consider kind of going forward, because it's not going to be in there outside of the Mini series, because it's like a Class 0 policy introduction, and it's I don't think, from what I understand, it doesn't change until January 2024 anyway. So a firmware update would likely get rolled out sort of around then or after then. But yeah, it's one of those things where I guess, you know, if you need to be going outside of that, then you need to be looking into different series of drones, really. But yeah, it was just to kind of say, you know, don't hold off on updating the latest firmware, because it's not going to do anything. This version of it, anyway. Like I say, you can have a look at the number in there for the version. But the one I'm on is 01000700, and like I say, I can check for updates now. You can see that that is the latest one as of today. So yeah, don't worry about updating to that. It's from what I've seen, it's just a bug fix update anyway, so you know, probably worth updating to. But yeah, that was it really. So hopefully, you know, you found that useful. If you have, give the video a like. If you want to see more content like this, then please subscribe.